Stop overthinking and analyzing everything in your life. You don't think when you doom scroll on Instagram, but when it's time to speak to your crush, you overthink the situation and end up doing nothing about it. My name is Doan, and I help young adults, students, and graduates to live a purposeful life through continuous learning outside of school. I think we ended up in this situation where we overthink and analyze everything as young adults because of the school conditioning and the school system. School conditioned us to believe that we have to think and analyze and learn specifically and autistically about everything and anything in all the areas of life. But I think that concept only works when you are doing some work that's meaningful to you. And for most of us, we haven't found that yet. But essentially, we want to be thinking and analyzing when we are in this task of doing our homework, our schoolwork, but not about making the small decisions in life, such as, oh, am I scared to talk to this person to get this opportunity? Or I don't want to do this because it doesn't feel good. All those micro decisions that you make outside of school in what is actually considered your real life. So, all those moments in between outside of school, work, and the everyday things that you do. That's what actually constitutes and makes a good life. When you actually put meaning and time into those moments. And by overthinking and analyzing, you're not helping yourself and anyone else around you. This concept of overthinking and analyzing, it doesn't transfer to all the areas of outside of school. So in dating, in the social life, in health, in educating yourself outside of school. It doesn't work that way. Outside of school, in those areas, you have to be human. You have to learn how to act. Just act and not think. Because humans, they thrive off of action and creativity and not just thinking and sitting down. For example, there are those days when you don't want to work out and you just keep thinking whether or not you should go work out and if it's worth it in the end. It happens to me too. There are some days where I feel like I haven't had a good breakfast to start off the day with protein and everything. So it doesn't look or seem worth it to get a workout in the gym. And in the end, I end up skipping the workout. But just go do the workout. Like I should just tell myself to just go do the workout and not just keep overthinking that situation because in the end when you do the workout and when you actually do exercise you will feel somehow more energetic afterwards than if you did just thought about it and didn't do anything about it. That's the contradiction right there. It's that you think that if you don't do this thing you will have more brain power and feel more happy, energetic, and not feel tired afterwards, but it's completely the opposite. In the end, there's this famous quote where life is the sum of all our choices, and that's especially true when you step outside of the student life and go into the adult world. In the adult world, it's as if everyone expects you to know what to do in life and how to navigate through your life, that you know what decision to take in your career, your dating life, and everything else. But we're just so young and we haven't figured that out yet. And that's what I teach in my program, The New School. The New School is a community of like-minded students in college, in university, or recent graduates that want to live a purposeful life, a meaningful life, and a fulfilling one by learning stuff that school didn't teach you, whether it's got related to money, so the social life, how to actually learn when you're an adult how to actually be an adult, whether it's health, fitness, all the important topics and areas of life that school didn't cover for you. So you can click on the link down below to see what it is. When it comes to thinking and decision making, there are three types of people. There's the dumb action taker, the smart overthinker, and the mindful action taker. What we want to be is the mindful action taker. The dumb action taker is basically the person who just does the thing without thinking about the consequences. They just do it because they have this drive inside of them, this initiative to just take the step and do stuff. And that's a good thing in life. That's a good thing as an adult when you step out into the real world. Because most people haven't been taught the skill of actually doing things on their own in school. And that's because in school you're always been basically in like your child life, your school life, up until like you're 20, 25 years old. There has always been someone there to guide you in life, whether it's your parent or your teacher or your boss. There has always been someone there to guide you in every area of your life. But once you're outside of the education system, there's no one left. There's only you. And that person basically feels like they haven't been taught how to think, how to learn properly. So they just try and experiment stuff. And that can be good in some areas of life. For example, if you want to try to start a business, if you want to try a new career that's more fulfilling to you, or if you want to start going to the gym to improve your health, start to learn about a new health habit, perhaps. But it can also be detrimental in the social and dating life. So these are, for example, the types of people who just date anyone that they find attractive, and they basically act based on lust and not love or intimacy. And they don't take the time of what to think about what they want in a relationship. And for men, they do it for sex basically, and for women too, and for women, also for a sense of validation. You know, those people who have like a high body count and everything. Those are the type of people who are dumb action takers. So that's good in certain areas, but pretty bad in others, with pretty devastating consequences. Then there is the smart overthinker. These types of people are basically all introverts in the world, and perhaps some extroverts. These are the types of people who just keep thinking and rethinking about the situation and the same decision to take without ever taking any action, and they just become paralyzed. They become paralyzed by action, stuck in this action paralysis process, where they just keep thinking about what could happen, about what they are doing in their head, but in actual real life, they're not doing anything. And introverts, we are really, really good at that. We're really good at being in our own minds and not thinking about the external world. And that can be good sometimes, but also pretty bad, just like the dumb action taker. I actually believe that being the smart overthinker is the worst out of the three types of people, because you end up doing nothing in all areas of life. You just keep overthinking about how people will judge you when, for example, you start going to the gym, about how that's not what society wants you to do, or how people's perception of you will change once you do start doing the thing that no one else does. So if you want to start, for example, freelancing, doing your own work, start a little business on the side, but you fear the judgment of others, so you don't end up starting it. or you're too scared to speak to this. You're not scared, but you just keep overthinking and overanalyzing about the consequences of speaking to this girl that you find attractive or to this guy that you want to date. I think most women should start approaching guys. I don't get why there's this like social stigma, where men should always be the one approaching girls. We're all scared. We're all scared of each other now, as young adults, and I want to change that mindset. So everyone should be able to approach anyone without fear, without the fear of rejection, of social fear, things like that. In the end, when you're the smart overthinker, you end up doing nothing. You just keep thinking on your couch and not take any real life action. Finally, the best type of person to be is the mindful action taker. And this is basically a combination of the dumb action taker and the smart overthinker. So you want to be someone who takes action, but who also takes the time to think about his actions before taking them. So it's the best of both worlds. As the mindful action taker, you want to have the mind of the smart overthinker, but the habits and the hands of the dumb action taker. What do I mean by overthinking? What I mean is you don't want to be this anxious, repetitive, looking to perfection type of person when you're making your decisions. You want to be calm, to stay calm, and have a clear mind and idea of what it is that you're thinking about. It has to be a purpose and an end goal in the end that makes you feel productive when you're making an important decision or any kind of decision. But you don't want it to be too deep that you just keep thinking about it. Sometimes when you're so much into this deep thinking mode, you're just stuck in there because it's so like you're just diving into this unknown world of your mind where you just keep thinking about stuff, irrelevant or not. You just keep thinking and you just forget about what's around you. I think as students, as adults, 18 from 25, 18 to 25, it's important to learn how to think, but not to overthink in life outside of school. So yeah, overthinking and analyzing your in life hinders your progression and leads to nothing, as you have probably experienced it. So what is my final tip here? Enjoy your life whilst being mindful of your decisions and your emotions without putting too much emphasis and stress on what happened in the past, on what's about to come in the future, and just learn how to be mindful in the present moment. I'll see you next time.